Some interesting photographs have just been uploaded to social media, showing what appears to be a silver object in the shape of a disc. Oddly enough, the metal object was captured by a local who noticed the object in the middle of a field in Spain. The eyewitness, who was able to get close to the object, said that it had a perfect metallic design and was in the middle of a field inside a private enclosure. This was the closest they could get. But they did say that it looked as though there was a doorway or opening that went directly into the object. What's interesting is that this photograph was posted just after multiple objects were seen above Spain, with eyewitnesses using the same description that matched this object, noting that the odd-looking aircrafts were shiny and in the shape of a disc. When looking at the data from websites that track these strange aircrafts, it becomes apparent that these sightings are not a one-off and match the descriptions of other strange aircraft seen in other countries. Oddly enough, residents in Spain have said that they have the ability to just hover motionless without making a sound. These sightings have only increased in recent years, which has led to people to label areas across Spain as somewhat of a hotspot. One user said the following: "This is the first time that I've seen this photograph, and it does seem to match descriptions given by eyewitnesses. I live in the south of Spain, and on various occasions there's been photographs uploaded to social media that show objects of all sizes hovering in the sky. No one ever seems to know what they are or where they are coming from, but it seems like in recent years these reports have been on the increase. I saw a strange object while driving to work. It was around 6 in the morning, and as I was leaving for work I could see this bright object in the distance. This object was in the same area of where I was driving to, so I decided to see if I could get a better look at it. A few minutes into my journey, I could see that the overall shape of this thing was a disc, but that it appeared to be moving very slowly in the sky. It was incredibly shiny, and I couldn't see any wings on it or any forms of propulsion. After a few minutes, it ascended into the clouds. Some of the recent photographs to emerge show what appear to be a large boomerang or V-shaped craft with glowing lights. Those who've witnessed them have said they are huge, but that if you didn't look up, you wouldn't know they were there. Others have said that they've been sitting in traffic and have seen them just hovering there. This adds to the eerie nature of these aircrafts and causes some to say that we have no aerial vehicle that's able to do this. It's not just Spain where these aircrafts are being witnessed. Back in 1964, on the 13th of December, a woman from Brazil claimed to have witnessed 3 metallic grey circular saucers hovering over the city, directly in the airspace above and around her house. According to the woman, the 3 flying objects appeared to move in unison, seemingly trained to move in a tight, close formation that either implied they were in constant communication with each other or were instinctively reacting to the movements of the surrounding crafts. The most peculiar thing about the objects was the fact that they made absolutely no sound whatsoever and appeared to travel with an ease impossible to replicate without the loud whirring of engines or intense mechanical devices. According to the woman, without notice, one of the 3 saucers then dived towards the woman's home, hovered over the roof, and turned on a light that covered the whole neighborhood in a brilliant glow before it shot off at high speed. As it shot off, the craft dropped what the woman described as a liquid substance near where she was standing that looked like a silver rain. By the next morning, the nature of the event was made obvious to investigators who showed up for additional questioning. According to the Air Force files, the neighborhood was filled with pools of liquid molten metal that had cooled rapidly and formed hardened puddles of a silvery material. When the investigators questioned the woman, she claimed to have experienced the event during the night, though researchers believed that for her to have witnessed the level of detail she had seen, the craft must either have been observed during the day or generated its own emission of light surrounding the craft. According to the investigations, the woman had been leaving her home late in the evening to feed her poultry when she noticed the strange craft. Air Force files describe the incident as follows. The incident occurred on December 13, 1954, and the witness was a housewife. Publications in England, New Zealand, and the United States reported that the sighting had occurred at night, but in spite of the darkness, the witness had observed the objects in detail. She described 3 grey-coloured circular flying saucers. Each was made up of 2 sections or plates, one placed on top of the other. The top plate rotated continuously and sent out a strong light. Moving soundlessly and in close formation, the 3 saucers had performed fantastic acrobatics over the city. Suddenly, one of them had peeled off and dived low over the roof of the woman's house, lighting up the whole neighborhood with the brilliant glare of its rotating section. Then, going into a high-speed climb, it dropped at her feet a liquid substance that fell like silver rain. For reasons not entirely understood, many key aspects of the event were either downplayed or taken out from the Air Force files, including the puddles of hardened material found all across the neighborhood, and the fact that the metal was described as dropping as molten and then solidifying due to being cooled down, which would have required a tremendous amount of energy to have spontaneously heated several hundred pounds of the material in such a short span of time. The Air Force files would go on to minimize the claims of the woman by assuming her testimony to have been fabricated or exaggerated, and rewrote the event with the following statement. According to the more generally accepted and more probable version, the incident occurred in the morning in full daylight. The housewife was feeding her poultry when she heard a noise on the ground near her feet. Stooping down, she observed a pool of shiny liquid, like silver rain, which solidified within a few seconds. Looking up, she saw 3 large objects moving rapidly high in the sky, and they looked to her like flying saucers. The rewriting of the event dismisses all claims of circular or metallic craft. The claim of the craft stooping low, lighting up the area, emission of light, their high-speed nature, spontaneous use of tremendous energy, and tight, silent hovering formations, in exchange for an event the Air Force described directly as a more probable version. So, what do you make of these strange sightings and encounters? And have you ever seen a mysterious flying aircraft? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.